He'll die alone, as will you.
She's not alone.
You know that moment when you find out your favorite girl next door actress, the one who played the sweet ditzy love interest in every rom-com, secretly has a black belt in Taekwondo? That moment when your jaw just drops? Yeah, that's exactly what this video is. Because Hollywood has been hiding something from us. Behind the red carpets, the designer gowns, and the million-dollar smiles, some of the most recognizable women in entertainment have been quietly training, sparring, and absolutely leveling up in ways that would make even the toughest guys at your local gym nervous. We're talking real combat skills. Not the choreographed movie stuff with camera cuts every 2 seconds. Actual martial arts training, legitimate military combat systems, weapons training, and sparring that's left bruises, broken ribs, and shattered expectations. And the names on this list? Some of them will completely blindside you. After years of following Hollywood news, celebrity interviews, red carpet events, and all the stories that happen after the cameras stop rolling, one thing becomes clear. Sometimes the people who look the least intimidating are the ones with the most surprising skills. And some of Hollywood's most glamorous women could probably handle themselves far better than most people realize. Welcome to Know Your Celebs, and today we're counting down the top 10 female celebrities who can actually fight, ranked by popularity and by just how hard that double take hits when you find out. Let's get into it. Number 10, Adriana Lima. Let's ease into the list gently, with a Victoria's Secret angel who could probably dislocate your shoulder before the wings even hit the runway. Adriana Lima is one of the most famous supermodels of all time. For almost 2 decades, she walked that iconic Victoria's Secret fashion show stage like she owned it. And yeah, she looked absolutely otherworldly doing it. But what most people don't know is that Lima has been training in Capoeira for years. Now, for those who aren't familiar, Capoeira is this absolutely mesmerizing Brazilian martial art that blends combat, acrobatics, and rhythm all into one. It looks like a dance almost, but don't be fooled. The kicks in Capoeira are devastatingly powerful, and the footwork is designed to disorient and confuse your opponent. It originated with enslaved Africans in Brazil who disguised their combat training as a cultural dance to avoid punishment. So every move carries both history and purpose. Lima has spoken about how Capoeira keeps her incredibly fit, centered, and strong. It's also a big part of why her athleticism on the runway was always a cut above. She didn't just walk, she moved. And now you know why. The angel had some serious fight in her wings all along. Number 9, Katheryn Winnick. Okay, so Katheryn Winnick is a slightly more obvious pick, but only if you watched Vikings. And even then, most people assumed she just played a fierce warrior on screen. Plot twist, she is a fierce warrior in real life. Winnick didn't just learn to throw a punch for a role. She grew up in martial arts. By the time she was 13 years old, she had earned her first black belt in Taekwondo. 13! That's like still in middle school age. Most of us were worried about algebra at 13. She didn't stop there. Winnick is now a 3rd-degree black belt in Taekwondo and holds a 2nd-degree black belt in karate. She opened her own martial arts school at 16 and eventually ran 3 locations. She had a security license before she had an acting career. She actually used to teach self-defense to celebrities and executives in Hollywood as a side hustle while trying to break into the industry. And one of those clients introduced her to the world of acting. So the next time you watch Lagertha swing an axe through an army of Vikings with that ice-cold precision, yeah, that's not acting. That's a lifetime of discipline walking into the room. Number 8, Milla Jovovich. If you were a millennial teenager in the early 2000s, Milla Jovovich was the blueprint for the cool, untouchable action heroine. The Fifth Element, Resident Evil. She became one of the most recognizable faces in sci-fi action cinema. and part of why her fight scenes always felt so real is because she actually showed up trained. Jovovich has a background in Taekwondo and Wushu, which is a highly athletic Chinese martial art known for its acrobatic kicks, fluid strikes, and weapon forms. Wushu is what you see in those jaw-dropping martial arts demonstrations at the Olympics. It looks more like ballet mixed with combat than anything you'd see at an MMA gym. But the physical demands and combat applications are absolutely legit. And she didn't stop training after landing the roles that made her famous. These days, Jovovich is actively practicing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which, if you know anything about BJJ, is the grappling art that's basically the foundation of modern MMA. It means she's gone from stand-up striking to ground fighting, from Resident Evil to the mat. And honestly, Alice would approve. Number 7. Lucy Liu. Charlie's Angels, Kill Bill, Shanghai Noon. If you grew up in the late 90s and early 2000s, you had a poster of Lucy Liu somewhere in your brain as the definition of effortlessly fierce. But what made those roles feel so authentic wasn't just good casting. Liu has been a practitioner of Kali, Eskrima, Silat since her teenage years. Now, this one is fascinating because Kali, also known as Arnis or Eskrima, is the national martial art of the Philippines, and it is weapons first by design. We're talking blades, sticks, knives, improvised tools. The entire system is built around the idea that in a real confrontation, someone probably has a weapon, and you need to know how to use one and how to take one away. The empty-hand combat comes after. It's ruthlessly practical. This training directly informed some of Liu's most iconic scenes. The precision, the footwork, the way she handled props during action sequences. When you watch her in Charlie's Angels or Kill Bill and think, she moves differently than the others, this is why. She wasn't just hitting marks, she was drawing on years of actual weapons training. Small in stature, enormous in capability. That's Lucy Liu. Number 6. Jessica Alba. Here's one that genuinely catches people off guard every single time. Jessica Alba, the Dark Angel actress, the Fantastic Four's Invisible Woman, the wholesome founder of the Honest Company, is trained in multiple combat disciplines. And not casual celebrity fitness stuff, real ones. Alba practices Taekwondo, Tai Bo, which sounds soft until you realize its creator is a 7-time world karate champion, and most impressively, Krav Maga. For those unfamiliar, Krav Maga is the official hand-to-hand combat system developed for the Israeli Defense Forces. It's the martial art you learn when your goal isn't to win a competition, it's to neutralize a threat as fast and efficiently as possible. No rules, no point system, no beauty, just controlled aggression and practical self-defense in the real world. Alba has spoken about training in Krav Maga specifically because of the demands of fame, the invasiveness of certain fans, the vulnerability that comes with being in the public eye. She didn't want to feel defenseless, and she doesn't. What makes her entry on this list so striking is the contrast. Here's this sun-kissed, girl-next-door energy that she radiates on screen, and underneath all of that, she's been quietly building a combat skill set that most people would never see coming. Number 5. Olivia Munn. Olivia Munn is probably the most underrated pick on this entire list, and that underestimation is kind of the whole point. Most people know her as the tech-savvy, pop-culture-fluent presence from G4's Attack of the Show, or from her work in Magic Mike and The Newsroom. She has this bright, approachable energy that doesn't immediately read as trained martial artist, which is exactly why this is so good. Munn has been studying Taekwondo since childhood. She's a black belt. Not a promotional belt, not a participation thing, a legitimate black belt earned through years of training. When she landed the role of Psylocke in X-Men Apocalypse, she went even further, training extensively in sword combat and hand-to-hand choreography to bring the character's blade-wielding precision to life authentically. She's talked openly about how martial arts shaped her sense of self, the focus, the confidence, the discipline. And she didn't use that role as an excuse to start training. She walked in already equipped. Hollywood was just late to notice. If you ever see her at a dojo, just remember, she's been doing this longer than some of the instructors. Number 4, Sarah Michelle Gellar. Okay, let's be honest. If you were a kid in the late 90s, you were either watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer or you were hearing about it constantly from someone who was. Sarah Michelle Gellar became synonymous with the idea of the small blonde girl who could absolutely wreck you. And that image didn't come from nowhere. Gellar holds a black belt in Taekwondo, which she earned for real, and which directly informed the physicality of Buffy as a character. There's a reason the fight choreography on that show felt so different from other late 90s teen TV. Gellar actually trained for it. She didn't just learn the moves, she knew the principles behind them. She's spoken about how the training was grueling, how it pushed her in ways that acting school never did, and how holding on to that discipline through 7 seasons of intense production was its own kind of achievement. Buffy Summers may have been a fictional slayer, but the woman who played her was training like one for real. There are grown adults today who got into martial arts because they wanted to be Buffy. Little did they know, the feeling was mutual. Number 3, Madonna. Nobody reinvents themselves quite like Madonna. And apparently, that includes reinventing themselves into someone who could put you in a chokehold. The queen of pop, the woman who has given us Material Girl, Like a Prayer, Vogue, and 4 decades of culture-shifting music, also holds a black belt in Shotokan karate. Shotokan is one of the most traditional and widely practiced styles of karate in the world, originally developed in Japan and characterized by deep, powerful stances and linear striking. It's disciplined, demanding, and deeply technique-focused. Not the kind of thing you dabble in. Madonna didn't dabble. She trained seriously alongside her then-husband Guy Ritchie, who himself is a dedicated martial artist, with a black belt in judo and a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. What makes this entry so delightfully surprising is the gap between the public image and the reality. Madonna is one of the most glamorous, theatrically over-the-top presences in entertainment history. She once performed inside a giant golden bird cage at the Super Bowl. And she also goes to the dojo and throws karate combinations. These 2 things coexist perfectly in one human being, because of course they do. She's Madonna. Number 2, Halle Berry. If there was ever a moment that crystallized just how serious Halle Berry's combat training had become, it was the story that came out during the production of John Wick Chapter 3. Berry was training for her role in the film, learning Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, and Krav Maga simultaneously. And in the process, she broke 3 ribs. 3! And she kept training. That's the kind of detail that stops you in your tracks. Berry has become one of Hollywood's most genuinely committed martial artists in recent years. Her preparation for John Wick was described as months of daily mat time, not just learning the choreography, but actually developing functional skills in 3 distinct disciplines at once. J for grappling and ground control, Judo for throws and takedowns, Krav Maga for the brutal, street-practical finishing moves that the John Wick franchise is known for. She didn't just show up and look good in the fight scenes. She showed up, broke ribs, and kept going. Berry regularly posts training videos that leave fitness experts genuinely impressed. Not celebrity impressed, actually impressed. At this point, she's not someone who trains to look like she can fight. She trains because she genuinely can, and she's not planning on stopping. Oscar winner, Bond girl, Catwoman, and now she could probably throw you across a room. Halle Berry remains Halle Berry. Before we reveal the #1 spot, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Know Your Celebs. If you enjoy discovering the surprising side of your favorite celebrities, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe and let's see who takes the top spot on today's countdown. Number 1, Gal Gadot. And at number 1, we have the woman who was a real-life warrior before she ever played one on screen. Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman herself. And the reason she tops this list isn't just about the fighting skills, it's about the origin story behind them, which is one of the most genuinely impressive credentials any celebrity on this list can claim. Before Gal Gadot was an actress, before she was Miss Israel, before she was a global superstar, she was a combat fitness instructor in the Israeli Defense Forces. She served 2 years of mandatory military service, which is standard in Israel, and during that time, she trained extensively in Krav Maga, the same combat system that Israel's military and intelligence agencies use in real operational contexts. Not a civilian weekend class, the actual program. She didn't just learn it, she taught it. She also reportedly holds a black belt in karate and has continued her training, including work in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But here's what separates Gadot's entry from everyone else on this list. Her skills were forged in a context where the stakes were real. Krav Maga, as taught in the IDF, isn't about sport, performance, or fitness. It's about survival. And Gadot didn't just pass the course. She mastered it well enough to instruct others. When she stepped onto the set of Wonder Woman, she wasn't borrowing someone else's power fantasy. She was channeling something she already knew from the inside out. The cape was new. The capability was not. And that, more than anything else, is why Gal Gadot is number 1 on this list. And that's a wrap on our countdown of the top 10 female celebrities who can actually fight. And honestly, I need a moment after that list. From Adriana Lima's Capoeira to Gal Gadot's IDF Krav Maga, the theme running through every single entry is the same. Never judge a woman by her red carpet look. Some of the most graceful, glamorous presences in entertainment history have been quietly training for years, building skills that most people will never know about until a video like this one lands in their feed. Whether it was the surprise of Madonna at the dojo, or that absolutely wild Halle Berry broken ribs story, I hope at least one of these made you do a double take today, because that's the whole point. These women contain multitudes. If you enjoyed this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a countdown from Know Your Celebs. Drop in the comments, which entry surprised you the most? And if you want more videos like this, let me know in the comments what topic you'd like to see next. I'll see you in the next one!